Let's talk about one of my favorite manifestation principles that is in my soulful manifestation process as one of the foundational principles, which is letting go of the how. What does that actually mean? It means not having to know exactly how something's going to happen or unfold or manifest in order to believe that it's possible, in order to believe that you're on your way there, or in order to believe that it's happening and it's unfolding, even if it doesn't really look like it. Even if you don't have a lot of evidence at this point that it is, you can still believe that the process is on right here, right now, because we don't know how this is all going to synchronistically come together and happen and come to life. I think about almost anything that I have manifested, any new big thing that I had never done before. And I will tell you what, I never knew exactly how it was going to unfold before it unfolded. I just had to believe it was possible, commit to it, take the steps one step at a time, moving towards it, one next aligned or one next courageous action at a time. And I feel like little by little, I was guided there, I was led there. But there's no way I could have known how my business would unfold and how I would meet my partner exactly and how I would get my condo when we had no funds for it in our account and it made no sense at all. But I still decided, like, I'm allowed to dream. I'm holding this vision that I know I want, that I know I want to experience in this lifetime. And I'm going to just hold it, even though I have no idea how it's going to happen. Right. And it felt like it would have to take a miracle for it too. And it did, right? It took many miracles. But the reason that I think this principle is so important of letting go of the how is because anything new that you do in your life, which most of the things that y'all are manifesting and calling into your life are new. It's something you've never done before. So you're not going to have a process. You're not going to have a step by step guide of how to get there yet because you're basically going for something that doesn't have the path yet, right? Whenever we're manifesting, we're pretty much carving out the path as we go. And we are trusting our instincts and taking one step at a time, one intuitive, natural step at a time. I always say to my clients, what's the next natural step? What's the one next thing that you want to do to move towards that thing? And when we do that over and over and over, eventually it unfolds and we can see the how after the fact. But that's not something we were able to see ahead of time. And I think so many people want the certainty and the knowing that it's going to happen. And they think they have to have the how. They have to have the exact strategy in order to believe that it's possible. And that's what trips people up. And that's what gets people kind of recreating what they've ever done before, because you only have the how to things that you've done in the past. Once you do it, then you have a path. Then you have a how, right? The path is carved out. But if it's something you've never done before, you have to be willing to lean into one of our ego's most uncomfortable emotions of all time, called uncertainty. We have to learn how to sit with uncertainty and believe, right? Believe that it's happening, believe it's done, believe it's unfolding. I always say, let go of the how, hold the vision. Let go of the how, hold the vision. If you can do this, you are going to be able to manifest. And you may have to do this patiently. I'm going to do another episode on divine timing and letting go of timelines and really surrendering that and releasing the pressure of that, because that makes all the difference too. But for now, I wanted to dive into letting go of the how and why this matters. Now, I want to point this out that this does not mean that you don't want to decide on a strategy. It doesn't mean that you don't want to have a plan. It doesn't mean that you don't want to make a list of like actions that you might want to take or things that you may have to do in order to create that thing, right? Of course, we want to do that for sure. I think about with my business, right? I knew these are some of the things that I have to do to start my business. And this is a strategy that I think will work, right? That I'm going to test out, that I'm going to go for, I'm going to believe in. But I don't know if that's exactly the how that's going to get me to the vision that I'm holding and that I know is mine, right? So it's all about committing to what you think you need to do and taking those steps. And what's the next natural step? It's not that you don't want to take action, it's not that you don't want to have a strategy. It's more like you don't want to be attached to the strategy, right? Like, for example, let's say you do a launch and it totally flops. Instead of making that mean, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get there in business. This is never going to work. The economy sucks. People aren't buying. What you could decide is, oh, that wasn't the how. Interesting, right? And of course, you want to process any disappointment. I'm not saying be non human here. Like, let's process the disappointment of a launch not going as planned and also hold that, oh, maybe that specific launch at this specific time is not how this was going to happen, but maybe it's leading me to the way it's going to happen, right? Maybe this is guiding me. Maybe I'm supposed to learn from this launch, and maybe that's the guidance that I'm getting to move me even faster or closer towards my manifestation, right? So again, you can do things, take action, go for it, have a strategy, but just don't be attached to that strategy has to be the thing that works because it might not be. And that's why one of my favorite sayings ever is this or something even better for the highest good of all concerned. And I learned that from my amazing teachers from the University of Santa Monica, and many other great manifestation teachers have taught that saying that really helps us surrender that it may not be this. It may be this or something even better for the highest good of all concerned. All right. And I thought of a couple of examples of things that I have manifested, things that my clients have manifested, and even some famous people who have created some incredible things in the world have done without knowing how it was going to unfold. So I was thinking about myself and manifesting my first 100K year in business. Now, this felt like such a soulful manifestation. It felt like something that, you know what it was? It felt like a gift I was giving to myself because at the time, I did not believe in myself. I did not believe I was good at business. I did not believe that I was good at making money. I just had a lot of doubt in myself, a lot of doubt in my abilities. But from the highest part of me, from some kind of place within my soul, I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew that I wanted to be someone who could take control of my finances and was able to make money and feel confident in my abilities in business. I had a vision for it, right? I felt like that was a vision that I had, and I wanted to make $100,000 in business. And I say that desire was really a gift to my future self because what it did was, if I was going to go for it, it kind of forced me to do the inner work necessary in order to get there. I had to heal my doubt or learn to hold space for it and work with it and not give into it. I had to work on the part of me that didn't believe that I could make any money. And I had to challenge those beliefs and look at my limiting beliefs about myself, about business, about money, right? I had to clear away all of that in order to get there. But here's the wild thing. I could have never predicted how it would actually unfold. In fact, if you had told me that year, at the end of the year, this is how it unfolded, I would have been like, wait, what? I didn't expect that at all. So let's just say January 1st, I felt this calling that this was the year I am claiming and deciding I'm making 100K in business. And it felt like a soulful desire. It didn't feel like it was coming from my ego and needing to do it. It felt like something I was ready to really become and evolve into and to really create. And I was so excited to commit to that year, which the year prior, if you've been listening to the podcast, you probably know I made about $14,000. So it really felt impossible. And in fact, I even held it as an impossible goal, right? That's how crazy it felt. It felt impossible. So, anyways, I claimed that I was going to do it. I started working on my stuff, started doing my thought work around it, started taking action. I even created a 100K strategy for myself, right? I created a 100K plan of what I was going to do, all the things that I was going to fail at. I was going to be willing to experience more rejection than that year than ever before and learn how to process rejection, right? I had the plan in front of me and I was moving towards it. Every week I was thinking about it. Every week I was setting intentions for the week of the things that I would accomplish for my 100K goal and all the things, right? So I was doing that all year. Now, quarter one, I made under $1,000. Now, of course, my brain wanted to say, Jamie, right? You really think you're going to still make 100K? Q1, you made, I think it was around 800, $800. And the math did not add up. But what I decided was, I'm still holding this vision. I'm still a 100K earner, right? And I decided I believed it was happening this year, but I wasn't attached. I was just willing to become that person. That's all I was focused on, is becoming the person who can make 100K in business. And I did a lot of things to do that, right? And I got out of my own way. I experienced rejection. I tried ads. I tried, all the things. You name it. I probably tried it that year. And I failed a lot, absolutely. And even after midway through the year, I was definitely nowhere near 50K. But I did start making more progress the second quarter, and I just kept holding the vision. I just kept writing every single day, I'm a 100K earner, and seeing it, practice seeing that in my bank account, practiced seeing my bookkeeper say, hey, this is what you did at the end of the year. I just held the vision and let go of the how, but I still was committed. Well, wouldn't you know it? The last quarter of the year, someone contacted me, my coach contacted me and said, hey, there's this awesome opportunity for a contract position. I would love to have you intern. I think you would be amazing at it. And that position paid. It was a paid position. And that there really, really helped towards my 100K goal. So it was the combination of the new clients that I was getting in my business mixed with other channels that it came through that I could have never, ever, ever expected. I would have never thought I would be in the place to get that contract position and actually get hired and then get paid what I did for it, that helped me manifest that 100K year. So that is an example of, I really had no idea how it was going to unfold, but I just kept committing to the vision of it and kept believing even when the evidence was not there. And it unfolded. It happened. I became that person, not in the way I thought I was going to, right? I thought it was just going to be, I was going to run Facebook ads and that funnel was going to work and it was going to be my 100K funnel. Right? Which I learned a lot. I did create results from that, but it was the combination of things that was opening up to different channels for it to come through. And I really owned that I created that, right? Now, another great example of this was Steve Jobs. I was thinking about it, and I love researching people who do, incredible things that others would deem impossible. Y'all know this about me if you listen to the podcast. So Steve Jobs, his vision was to create revolutionary technology that would change the world. Now, did he know how it was going to happen? I don't know. He got hired at Apple, probably thought that was the path, right? Well, he got fired from Apple. Do you think he thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to change the world through Apple after getting fired by Apple? No, he just took the next step. It was like, okay, what's next? This was his mission. This was his vision. So he went on to founding Pixar. He was one of the three founders of Pixar, went on to doing that for a while, then gets rehired by Apple and basically revolutionized, as you all know, Apple, and made it one of the most valuable companies in the entire world. And now that's Apple as we know it, right? But the thing is, you think that he could have known the how after getting fired by Apple, right? Isn't that wild? Like the company that he got fired from rehired him and he completely, it's just wild how things unfold. And there's so much to believing in your vision and holding on to that vision and holding on to that vision, even when it seems like things aren't working out, even when you're getting fired, even when maybe a client cancels or you get a no, right? Even when things look down, if you can just hold on to that vision and remember, you do not know the how, you don't have to know the how, you just have to believe in it. You have to believe it's yours and live in that vision, right? Not believing it's yours from scarcity, like, I can't wait till the day that I get there. It's like, no, enjoy the journey now. Enjoy the process now. Like, be an energetic match to that now. How can you be the version of you now who's doing it? Because that's how you're going to do it, right? Think about how you would feel if you had that thing. Think about how you would show up in the world. Practice feeling that way now. Practice living from that place, acting from that place now. Become that version of you now, and it will unfold. If there's anything I know, it's that manifestations always come to life. And I'll say it with a caveat, right? This or something even better. So it's either going to be your manifestation or something even better that you couldn't have even dreamed of or described back at the time you were manifesting, always comes to life 100% of the time, but not always in the way we think it will, and not always in the timing we think it will. But as long as you don't let go of your vision, it will come. And I know for me, I've manifested just about everything my heart has really desired. And of course, we're always evolving and expanding and growing into the next thing. So I have my next manifestations that I'm holding and I'm so excited about. And thank goodness, because that creates so much excitement for the future. But what I do know is these dreams that felt so impossible have manifested because I didn't let go of the vision and I just kept going, even whenever it felt like no way could it happen, whenever I could never see a how, whenever it looked like all the evidence was against it. If you hold on to the vision, it will come about. And I would encourage you to really take on that mentality and to remind yourself of that often, that just because things look down now, it does not mean that the universe is not redirecting you or the universe isn't teaching you an important lesson that you need to learn in order to create that thing, right? Sometimes there's lessons we need to learn in order to get there. And sometimes that's through challenges and obstacles and things that come forward. So know that it is yours and that it is unfolding and it is happening, and you don't have to know how, because miracles happen every day, synchronicities happen every day. Things can happen with efficiency, right? It can seem like something's taking forever and then all of a sudden it drops in or something happens or it leads you there, right? How many times has that happened in your life? I know for me, it's happened a lot where there's been like, what? That was a wild synchronicity. I didn't expect that. So hold on to that and know that. That is my encouragement. So, a couple of thoughts that you could practice as you are moving towards your manifestation. Well, number one, this isn't a thought, but it is a concept. And I would encourage you to have a vision and to hold that vision and to know that that is yours. Know it's unfolding. It's unfolding in divine timing, which we will dive into in a further episode. But here are a couple thoughts that you can practice in the meantime. I don't have to know how. In fact, I could never know how. And the universe knows the most efficient route there. And I trust it. Trust that. Trust that the universe knows the most efficient route there. And really see yourself in that vision. Have fun along the way. Have fun now. That's so, so important. So I hope this is a helpful reminder that you don't have to know how to do something in order to go for it. And I think this is also a really wonderful reminder for those of you who are reluctant to dream, right? We're reluctant to set visions because something hasn't manifested yet, or something's taken a lot longer, or has been really disappointing. I know that when we are in disappointment, it can be really hard to believe that things are unfolding and that things can actually happen. And I know for me, whenever I've had some fails or some disappointments, it's hard for me to dream. But what I want to remind you is that yes, process the disappointment if you're in the middle of that, but don't give up on your dreams, right? Don't give up. The universe might be just rerouting you, reconfiguring, teaching a lesson that you need to learn, and guiding you there still, right? So let yourself dream. And remember, you don't have to know how, you just have to want it. You have to desire it. You have to know it's yours. You have to feel worthy of it and just go for it. That's all it takes. All right. Happy manifesting, my friends. I will see you next week.